I look forward to nominating our next ambassador at large for international religious freedom to help lead these efforts. And we're moving ahead with our new strategy to partner more closely with religious leaders and faith communities as we carry out our foreign policy.
This position has been vacant for 8 months, and the president himself said he wanted to see someone nominated. How long does it take to nominate somebody?
It remains a priority. There are certainly plans to, and in the meantime, senior officials will continue to raise these issues.
There are people in the world who are willing to die for their faith. What we also know is that there are people in the world, unfortunately, who are willing to kill for their religion. And we neglect this issue in the geopolitical calculus at our considerable peril.
Well, President Obama has not nominated a new ambassador at large for international religious freedom. He said he was going to back at the prayer breakfast in February. He has yet to do it. Today, a list of new appointments, some ambassadors, some other appointments. The ambassador to the People's Republic of Bangladesh, the ambassador to the Republic of Moldova, and a member of President's Council on Fitness, Sports, and Nutrition, but not the new ambassador at large for international religious freedom. We are back with the panel. AB, big deal? Priority?
I don't mean to diminish this issue, the importance of this issue in any way, and I agree with what the former ambassador said, that it is part of our geopolitical calculations, certainly. It is woven into our national security and defense policy. But President Obama, clearly this administration cannot make this a priority right now. President Obama has talked many times about how, as president, he can certainly walk and chew gum. And right now, they cannot. They are going to be engulfed by this VA scandal from here forward for a very long time. They upended our entire healthcare system and got to the point where you couldn't even sign up for a doctor, even if you didn't like them. They are facing off crises all over the globe that they are not able to successfully manage or contain right now, including trying to stop Putin from invading another country, a nuclear Iran. There's, Assad from using more chemical weapons on his people. This is not something that is
at the top of
their...
But of all the challenges, it seems like this would be a layup. I mean, why not appoint somebody?
I'm sure that the confrontation and criticism that comes with the confirmation process must be a factor. They don't want to have that conversation right now, but I don't know how they can even floss or shower with what's going on, with what they're mishandling and not succeeding at fixing.
Charles.
But they could comb their hair. I mean, this is pretty easy. You nominate somebody and they'll be confirmed. I don't think it makes a dime's worth of difference, because we generally have somebody in these offices. Ambassadors at large end up generally doing nothing. And in this case, they'll go around the world holding seminars and pretending that the persecution of the Muslims, Jews, and Christians is about equal in the world, and we all have to understand each other. We simply will not state the fact, which is that the overwhelming percentage of the suppression that's happening in the world is suppressing and persecuting Jews and Christians in places, particularly in the Islamic world. But that's not something Americans will say, because you have to be polite. The real question, if you want to go after this, why did we join the UN, the farcical UN Human Rights Council that spends all its time in denouncing Israel and Christian nations and completely whitewashing and ignoring the persecution of Christians and Jews? Our presence on that is in and of itself a scandal, and I would start with that even before I nominated an ambassador in this rather empty role.
Well, not surprisingly, the former person who held that position disagrees about the priority of it, and here's what else he said.
It sends bad signals to the world. First of all, it sends bad signals inside the State Department. It says to everybody in the State Department, this is not something we have to take seriously. And everybody's got too much work to do anyway, so if the Secretary of State or the President is not moving to fill this position in an expeditious manner, then folks draw from that this is not very high up on the priority list.
Nina.
You know, I agree with that. I mean, this may just be a mostly symbolic position, but this is a sub-crisis on the foreign policy or on the foreign stage. The number of religious persecutions is on the rise, and even in this internet society. As Charles said, it's Jews and Christians. There's one survey that says, from a secular agency, that says 80% of religious persecution right now is against Christians. It's, you see the people executed in North Korea for owning a Bible. You see Coptic Christians in Egypt, their churches being burned, them being killed. You see this all around. And, here we are, the cradle of religious tolerance. We've founded a democracy founded very much on the notion of religious tolerance. To me, it's a void of leadership. It's a potential for us to take more of a leadership role on this stage and to provide support for those who are being persecuted.
Quickly, I just want to get around about the Marine being held in Mexico, the U.S. Marine Sergeant Andrew Tamoresi. He's been in jail, Mexican jail, for about 6 weeks now. Charles, the story we've been following, it is pretty surreal.
The fact that our Secretary of State is in Mexico and he doesn't even raise it, and we have our spokesman saying, well, he's subject to Mexican law. We are the world superpower. Under Kennedy, let's say, or Johnson, or Nixon, or anybody, there'd be a carrier off the coast of Mexico, there'd be a drone overhead, and we would cut off all trade until this guy is released.
AB, he still faces charges of illegal gun possession in Mexico. He told them that these guns were in his truck.
No, he's
unless
not a
there's more to
criminal.
this
He
story.
took a wrong turn, and when he pulled up and realized where he had gone, instead of San Diego, he ended up on the Mexican border. He said, I don't want to be here, and I have guns. He's not a criminal. It's hard to imagine that our government is not doing more for this person who served our country over and over again.
Greta Van Susteren has been covering this extensively, and she's going to continue to do so, as will we.